All right, let's jump right in. What if you could literally build an expert for your business? I'm not talking about just another tool, but a true specialist that's trained on your data, designed for your customers. Today, we're getting super practical. We're going to cover how to build a custom AI that works smarter and harder, specifically for you.
So let's just kick things off with a really important question. You're probably already using some form of AI, right? But is that generic one-size-fits-all tool really pulling its weight for your specific goals, your unique products, and your customers? It's time to start thinking bigger.
Okay, so let's break this down. On one side, you've got your generic AI. It's built on just, massive amounts of public data, so it has general knowledge. It's useful, for sure, but it knows absolutely nothing specific about your business. But on the other side, we have custom AI. This is built on your expertise and your private data. It's really the difference between hiring a generalist intern and bringing on a seasoned specialist who already knows the company inside and out from day one.
So how do we actually make this happen? Well, it all comes down to a few key ideas. I want you to think of these as the essential tools in your custom AI toolkit. Let's walk through the 3 core concepts you really need to get your head around.
First up, open source large language models, or LLMs. Imagine getting a super powerful engine, but the blueprints are totally public. You can look inside, you can modify it, you can fine-tune it for exactly what you need. For your business, this means you get incredible flexibility and control, often at a much lower cost, and you're not locked into some big commercial provider.
But what if you're dealing with sensitive info? I mean, most of us are, right? That brings us to our second concept, self-hosted LLMs. This just means you run the AI model directly on your own servers. And here's why that is so critical. Your private data, we're talking client information, financial records, your secret sauce, it never, ever leaves your control. For privacy, this is an absolute game changer.
And all of this leads to our third, and honestly my favorite concept, custom AI assistants. Now, these are not just your average chatbots. Think of them as reusable experts. You configure them for very specific roles, which means you're basically creating specialized digital employees who get your business and are ready to work 24/7.
So how do we get these assistants to be so smart about our business specifically? Well, there's a secret ingredient, and it's a technique called RAG. The easiest way to think about it is this. RAG gives your AI a private library to study from, a library filled with only your company's books. You feed it your product catalogs, your internal policies, your FAQs, so its answers aren't just generic guesses. They're accurate and deeply, deeply relevant to you.
Okay, that's enough of the theory. Let's see what this toolkit actually looks like when we put it into action. We're going to check out a few real-world scenarios to show you just how powerful this can be for a business just like yours.
Let's start with, say, a local bakery. They could build a menu planner assistant. If they feed it all their recipes, it can instantly come up with creative daily specials, which saves the owner hours of planning. It can also answer customer questions about allergens on the spot, building trust and keeping everyone safe. I mean, that's time saved and happy customers, all because their little expert is right there, ready to help.
Or how about a small law firm where client confidentiality is absolutely everything? By using a secure, self-hosted model, they can create an AI clerk. It could summarize a 100-page legal document into key points in minutes, or draft initial client emails in a snap. This frees up their paralegals for higher-value work, all while making sure zero sensitive data ever leaves their private servers. It's security and efficiency, totally supercharged.
And for an e-commerce store, a Product Pro Assistant is a no-brainer. It knows your inventory in real time and can answer detailed questions like, hey, which one of your backpacks is waterproof and fits a 15-inch laptop? That kind of specific, helpful support turns questions into sales, it reduces returns, and it creates way happier, more loyal customers.
Feeling inspired? I hope so, because building your first assistant is way more straightforward than you might think. Let's walk through a simple 3-step framework that will get you started right away.
It really is just a simple 3-step process. First, you have to define the role. This is the most critical part. You've got to give it a clear job description. Second, you provide a knowledge base. This is where you feed it your company's private library using that RAG technique we talked about. And third, you choose the right model. This is kind of like picking the right engine for a car, based on what you need for privacy, power, and of course, budget.
Okay, time for a quick exercise for you. Right now, just think about your business. What's one repetitive task that you would love to automate? Just quickly, maybe even jot it down, an idea for an AI assistant, what would its persona be?
And what's the #1 document you would give it to make it an instant expert?
Excellent. Now that you've got an idea percolating, let's make sure that when you do launch it, it's a huge success. Here are a few pro moves to make and some pretty common pitfalls you'll want to avoid.
You know, the biggest pitfall I see is people giving vague instructions. The pro move? Be hyper-specific about the AI's role and its limitations. And please, don't ignore privacy. You have to prioritize security and decide what data is safe to use. And finally, don't let its knowledge get stale. As your business changes, you have to make sure you keep its knowledge base up to date.
If you take away just one single thing from our chat today, let it be this mindset shift. You're not just using a tool. You are building a specialized employee, a team member who never sleeps, is always on, and is an absolute expert in your business.
So now, the real question isn't if you should build a custom AI, it's what you should build. A customer service guru? A marketing content whiz? A data analyst? The power is totally in your hands. So what expert will you build first?